Hello again and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today I'm going to get to Slayer, Reign in Blood. Now this is a big one. This is, I talked, a month or 6 weeks ago about Master of Puppets. And some time ago I talked about Guns N' Roses' Appetite for an Onion. This one, Reign in Blood, this is the third out of four. I've talked about this before. There are four albums that I can consider in the running for my favorite album ever. I have a lot of great albums, but there are only really four that I can consider for the number one spot. Metallica, Master of Puppets, Guns N' Roses, Appetite for an Onion. There's another that I haven't talked about yet. I don't have the record of it. Maybe I'll get it at some point and I'll talk about it. That's the third one. And this one, Slayer, Reign in Blood. This is the fourth one. I could even make the argument, big statement coming up, this could be my favorite album ever out of the four, because of the other three, I can make arguments for them not being the number one. I can make lots of arguments for all four of them being number one, but this is the only one that I can't really make an argument for it not being number one. For example, Master of Puppets, like I said at the time when I talked about it, whenever that was, 6 weeks ago, I like it more now, but I never really liked Orion. I'm not a big instrumental fan. Generally, I like lyrics to hold my attention. Maybe I have something wrong with me that I need that. But over the years, I have grown to even love Orion. Appetite for Destruction, I could say maybe the thing that's holding it back from being in the coveted number one position is that I just got so tired of it, so burnt out. Paradise City and Sweet Child of Mine and Welcome to the Jungle were on the radio and on video and in people's cars as they drive by your house every day. I got tired of it. The other one, I won't say what it's not a problem with it, but you get the idea. But really, Reign in Blood, there's nothing I can say about this album, nothing I can think about this album that would prevent it from being number one. So there it is. And it's kind of weird. I talk about this with Master of Puppets. Sometimes I think it's harder to talk about these albums that I love. And this one, Master of Puppets, Appetite for an Onion, I know them perfectly. I know every little musical, all the nuances, all the lyrics. I know them just like people say the back of your hand. I don't know why. I don't know the back of my hand. These albums, like, pick whatever comparison you want to make. And I think for me, I've noticed that sometimes those are the hardest ones to talk about, the ones that I love every song. Sometimes it's easier to talk about albums that I maybe don't like as much, or ones that I hadn't listened to for a long time, and I listened to them again and then talked about them. But I maybe struggle. So I think this one might be a lot of just me saying this song is awesome and I'll recite the lyrics. And the reason I'm doing this is I got this album long time ago, as I do with a lot of these. Sometimes they sit around before I get to them. I was talking to my ex-wife the other day, Lilia, and she asked me, what's that song that goes dum 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 dun 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 dun? And she said, what's that Metallica song that goes dum dum dum? And I said, that's not Metallica. I said, are you thinking of Slayer, Reign in Blood? And she said, no, it's a Metallica song. And I said, dum dum dum. And she said, yeah. I said, that's Slayer, Reign in Blood. And I played it, and she said, oh yeah, that's the one. She said, it sounds like Metallica, which I guess I can kind of see. So that kind of inspired me, or sometimes that's all it takes, is just a little something to get me, finally in the mood to talk about this album. When I've talked about Slayer records, I talk about Hell Awaits and Show No Mercy in the past. I've seen Slayer multiple times, but I didn't see them on this tour. They did play in Toronto on November 28th, 1986. It's one of those weird things that I remember the date of a concert that I didn't even go to. Motorhead played on November 15th, 1986, just 13 days earlier. And I had to choose. I was a poor young teenage metalhead. I was only 16. I guess I just turned 17 earlier in November that year. So I was a 17-year-old metalhead. Didn't have a lot of money, and I had to choose which concert to go to. And I chose Motorhead over Slayer. I had seen Slayer at this point before. I hadn't seen Motorhead, and I got into them around the same time. Maybe Motorhead was a little bit before, but I saw Motorhead instead of Slayer. Slayer played the concert hall in Toronto, November 28, 1986, with Sacrifice on this tour, and I didn't go. And I remember my introduction to this album was even before it came out. I've talked about this multiple times. This college university radio show in Toronto at the time called ARG Rock, or Aggressive Rock, hosted by Brian Taylor. That was 88.1 CKLN in Toronto. And he played, you know, thrash metal and punk and things like that. I heard King's X through Brian Taylor's Aggressive Rock radio show on CKLN 88.1 as well. And he played, that was also where I first heard Battery and Damage Incorporated. He somehow got, I don't know if they were advanced copies, but advanced, some of the songs were advanced anyway. And I heard Rain and Blood. He played, for sure it was Altar of Sacrifice, and I want to say Postmortem was the other one. And I remember, and I used to tape these shows all the time, and Altar of Sacrifice had, I don't know if it was a demo or what it was, and I listened to this forever. It had a drumstick, you know, like a click intro, intro into Altar of Sacrifice, and I have no idea when that was, but it was obviously before the album Rain and Blood came out. And for me, this is, as I said, it's a perfect album. There's like no flaws with this. It's, I guess, famously short, 28 or 29 minutes. I know it's under 30, and it's just, it doesn't feel short. You can listen to it, and there have been many, many, many times, including today, that I listened to it twice in one day, sometimes back to back, 28 or 29 minutes. I love it. I wish every record were 28 or 29 minutes. And it's short, but it doesn't feel short because it's 10 songs. It's not like, you know, the Black Sabbath records that were, you know, the first Black Sabbath album is like 7 songs, or, you know, the songs were 7 or 8 minutes. So it's 10 songs, which was typical at the time. And the songs are really short. A lot of these songs are in the 2 to 2.5 minute range. I think Necrophobic, track 3 is a minute and 40, maybe a minute 35, somewhere around there. But they're full, complete songs. They have intros, they have choruses. Slayer songs don't really have verses. They've got solos, they've got, a lot of them have bridges. They are fully structured, complete songs. They're just played really, really fast. They get through them all, and they get to the next song. And that's why it's only 28 or 29 minutes, and I love it. I just can't get enough of this record. So I think I'm ready to talk about it, to go through the track by track now. And there it is. This is Larry Carolite. For some reason, I know the artwork. I don't know too many artists who did the names who did artwork. I do know this. And there's the back with these guys with their typical of the time metal face. You know, a lot of gritting the teeth and opening the mouth like this. Dave Lombardo was playing it cool. And there it is. This says that it was made in Poland. How many Polish people does it take to make a Slayer record? I don't know the answer to that joke or question. So this has the easy open like this. No hype sticker on this one, so I can get right to it. And oh my God, do I ever love this album! And like I said, it's I don't know what I'm going to say about each song, other than just reciting the lyrics, which I'm sure a lot of people are thrilled about. The lyric sheet, I remember it had a red border around it. I think the one side was a red and white, the Slayer logo, and the other one was the lyrics. And I assume this is the same. This is okay. It's almost the same. It's got the insert. So I don't remember that, but yeah, I do remember that. So it wasn't a red border. I thought it was just red on top. And here's the record itself. There it is. And I'm sure I had this record immediately. I don't know if I bought it the first day it came out, but I know I had it when it was a brand new record, and couldn't then and still now can't get enough of it. I think, no, for sure, I like it way better now. I always loved it, but I like it even more now than I did back then. So the first one, of course, is Angel of Death, Monarch to the Kingdom of the Dead. Auschwitz, the meaning of pain, the way that I want you to die. Slow death, immense decay. Showers that cleanse you of your life, forced in like cattle you run, stripped of your life's worth. Human mice for the angel of death, 400,000 more to die. Angel of death, monarch to the kingdom of the dead, sadistic surgeon of demise, sadist of the noblest blood, destroying without mercy to benefit the Aryan race. Surgery with no anesthesia, feel the knife pierce you intensely. Inferior, no use to mankind, strapped down, screaming out to die. Angel of death. And then it's got that great Monarch to the Kingdom of the infamous Butcher, Angel of Death, and then just maybe the greatest riff ever, and there's so many to choose from. How do you pick one? Pumping fluid inside your brain. God, I blew it. I lost my train of thought there. Pumping fluid inside your brain. Pressure in your skull begins pushing through your eyes. Burning flesh drips away. Oh, I got it right. Burning flesh drips away. Test of heat burns your skin. Your mind starts to boil. Frigid cold cracks your limbs. How long can you last in this frozen water burial? Sewn together, joining heads. Just a matter of time till you rip yourself apart. Millions laid out in their crowded tombs. Sickening ways to achieve the Holocaust. Seas of blood, buried life. Buried life, smell your death as it burns deep inside of you. A bassinate. I don't know what a bassinate means. And there are a few other words on this album. Perishment. I can't remember what song, but they say perishment in one song. A bassinate, eyes that bleed, praying for the end of your wide awake nightmare. I always love that lyric. Praying for the end of your wide awake nightmare. Wings of pain reach out for you. His face of death staring down your blood's running cold. Injecting cells, dying eyes. Feeding on the screams of the mutants he's created. Pathetic, harmless victims left to die. Rancid angel of death flying free. And that's it. I think that's the first time I've ever gone through a full song. I have done, verses before or choruses, but I think that's the first time I've done the full song. And Angel of Death, I don't think I ever got sick of this one. Maybe some people did, because it was not a radio song, so you never really had the chance to get sick of it. There was no video for it. But oh my God, Angel of Death. And I'm not even sure if it's my favorite song on this album. It's hard to pick a favorite from this album because every song is fucking awesome. Next is Piece by Piece, Modulistic Terror. A vast sadistic feast. The only way to exit is going piece by piece. Bones and blood lie on the ground, rotten limbs lie dead. I know, you have no choice of life or death, my face you will not see. I'll rip your flesh till there's no breath, dismembered destiny. As soon as life has left your corpse, I'll make you part of me. No emotion, death is all I see. Modulistics, bones and blood lie on the ground, rotten limbs lie dead. Decapitated bodies found on my wall, your head. As soon as on your trail I close the gap. One more life that soon won't be. No emotion, flesh is all I need. I'll send you to your maker, confront the God you seek. A flash of red upon your chest, safety out of reach. You have no choice of life or death, my face you will not see. I'll rip your flesh till there's no breath, dismembered destiny. Look at that, I've gone through 2 complete songs in the blink of an eye. And the next one's even faster, Necrophobic. Let's see how long. I think Necrophobic was 1:38. There's no running time on this. But I know Necrophobic is the shortest song. And I remember my friends and I, especially my friend Jeff Simpson, we couldn't get over how fast, not just, I mean Slayer, a lot of Slayer songs musically were fast, but how Tom Araya just spit the vocals out. And he was so fast on The Final Command, on Show No Mercy, and I guess Hell Awaits, the title track, he sang super fast. I think Necrophobic, and then he did it again later on Ditto Head from Divine Intervention in 1994. But Necrophobic, my God, and I don't know how, and he sang so clear too. You could understand him. He was singing so fast, but his lyrics or his vocals were very easy to understand. I don't know how he could sing that fast and so clear. I can't even say the word. Asphyxiation, suffocation, gasping for air. Explain to me the feeling after sitting in the chair. No, sorry, I got that wrong. That was the second verse. Strangulation, mutilation, cancer of the brain, limb dissection, amputation, from a mind deranged. Asphyxiate, can't say that word. I'm like Donald Trump trying to say the word tomorrow. I think it was tomorrow that Donald Trump had trouble saying. Asphyxiation, suffocation, gasping for air, explain the feeling after sitting in a chair, ripping apart, severing flesh, gouging eyes, tearing limb from limb, experimentation, slow infection, internal decay, sick contortion, execution, knee transfusion, body rots away, sliced incision, zero vision, loss of vital signs, skin contortion, bone erosion, life becomes your fine, ripping apart, severing flesh, gouging eyes, tearing limb from limb. What else? Necrophobic, can't control the paranoia. scared to die. And Slayer songs ended so suddenly, you never knew they were going to end. All of a sudden, there's just no music anymore. And next is Altar of Sacrifice. So fast. Waiting the hour, destined to die here on the table of hell. A figure in white, unknown by a man, approaching the altar of death. High priest awaiting, dagger in hand, spilling the pure virgin blood. Satan's slaughter, ceremonial death. Answer his every command. Death will come easy, just close your eyes. Dream of the friends you'll see. Heavenly failure, losing again, move on to a new form of life. Altar of sacrifice, curse of the damned. Kind of a chorus. Altar of sacrifice, curse of the damned. Confronting the evil you dread. Coalesce into one, your shadow and soul, soon you meet the undead. And then after the second verse, the second chorus of that, enter to the realm of Satan. Blood turning black, the changes have begun. Feeling the hatred of all damned in hell, flesh starts to burn, twist and deform. Eyes dripping blood, realization of death, transforming of 5 toes to 2. Learn sacred words of praise, hail Satan. A gift of powers disposed unto you, used them when you feel the need. Master the forces, the power of Satan's, the power of Satan controlling the creature's instinct. Drawn to the castles that float in the sky, learn to resist the temptation. Watching the angels sift through the heavens, endlessly searching for salvation. Am I going to do every song? I think that's pretty much 4 in a row that I've done the full songs. Very exciting, isn't it? And then Altar of Sacrifice bleeds right into with no breaks. The kind of slower, at least the intro anyway, Jesus Saves. And then it gets fast, of course, because it's Slayer and it's Rain and Blood. You go to church to kiss you. See, I can't do it. How does Tom Araya do it? You go to church, you kiss the cross, you will be saved at any cost. You have your own reality, Christianity. You spend your life just kissing ass. A trait that's grown as time surpassed. You think the world will end today? You think the world will end today? Praise the Lord. That's how you say it. Jesus saves. Listen to you pray. You think you'll see the pearly gates when death takes you away. For our respect, you cannot lust. In an invisible man, you place your trust. Indirect dependency. Eternal attempt at amnesty. He will decide who lives and dies. Who lives and dies, depopulate, Satanus rise. You will be an accessory, irreverence and blasphemy. And then there's a wailing solo. And speaking of solos, I think it was around this time, even though Slayer was at their peak, I think Jeff Hanneman and Kerry King were still taking guitar lessons. I don't know why, but whatever. Next is Criminally Insane, that amazing drum intro. Night will come and I will follow, for my victims know tomorrow. Make it fast, your time of sorrow. On his trail, I'll make you follow. Chorus for the Criminally Insane. Escape from me is fast to become a game. Soon to be, I'll leave without a trace. Endangered species and the human race. Chorus for the Criminally Insane. I got that wrong. I flipped them. The first one is the sentence read, for life I must remain. The path I chose has led me to my grave. To try again, I have no other way. Branded in pain, marked, criminally insane, locked away and kept restrained. Disapprobation. That's another word. What the fuck does that mean? Disapprobation. So we got disapprobation, abassinate, and perishment. I still can't remember what song perishment is in. Disapprobation, but what have I done? I have yet only just begun to take your fucking life. And next is Reborn. There's no relenting in this album. It just doesn't let up. Convicted witch, my life will end at midnight on the stake. My dedicated life was spent to insubordinate. Secured by lock inside a cell. Imprisoned for no crime. These shackles will be useless when your life is at a time. Incantation, spell gone by. I will see life again. My deals were made eternally. I'll sign the book of red. My rage will be unleashed again, burning the next morn. Death means nothing, there's no end, I will be reborn. No gift of exile in my fate, I'll get no amnesty. I can't control my destiny, there is no habitual need. Proclaim my death to end my wrath, it takes more than one try. Indulge your ineffective curse, I will never die. You think by killing me tonight, my powers will not rise. There'll be nowhere for you to run when hatred comes to life. Condemned to fail the prophecy, allowing no firstborn. Defy your morbid declaration, leave you ripped and torn. I'm trying to find, what was the other word I said? I can't remember now. Count your blessing, would-be priest, as I burn upon the stake. You'll be forgiven endlessly, but your values are all fake. Forever servant of my Lord by choice and not submission. Maybe now I've made you wonder, am I superstition? Incantation spell goodbye, blah, blah, blah. Amazing, reborn. Next is epidemic, breeding fast in poverty, infectious driving dormant seed. Inside your carcass start to mate, left in charge to dominate, waiting to unfold, raging uncontrolled. Adaptive potency, death machine, infest my corpse to be. Unyielding gates of agony, test your body chemistry, pulmonary overthrown, possession of your inner throne. Invasions quickly override, malicious dominating, strike, flood your veins, commit slow death, deteriorate your maker's met, perpetual demise, on a fast decline, killing tendency, epidemic, permanent disease. And then it's got that great kind of a, Anthrax calls these mosh parts. I guess it's like a bridge. It slows down, but it's really, really heavy. Incapacitate, fall into your fate. Pain results in screams, bleed eternally. Years will pass before it can be cured. Now, there's no way I can attempt to sing how Tom Araya sings the word cured, but you know how it is if you know this album. And now Postmortem. Postmortem, this is the one I guess that I consider my favorite song on the album. It really could be almost any of them, I guess, but Postmortem, it's maybe even my favorite Slayer album, although I'm not even sure if it's my favorite song on the album, but I think Postmortem might be my favorite song in their whole category. It's just got that big intro. It's very kind of dramatic. It's heavy. And how does Postmortem start? Funeral held for the depression of man, holds the key to his own death. Enter the tomb of a corpse yet conceived. Tighten the tourniquet around your neck, sifting away debris of hated life. Cold touch and death begins to chill your spine. Seeking life beyond your perishment. There's the word, perishment. Seeking life beyond your perishment. Repeating words echoing through your mind. Chanting lines of blind witchery to save yourself from extinction. Wanting to die is your reason to live. New life forms from the oppressed. Taste your blood as it trickles through the air. Another casualty, beyond the shadows you fall. Need some help. Losing ground, the fate you feel draws near. Fatality, reality awaits the final call. And again, Tom Araya sings, like when the last song was in Epidemic, that he just goes way up, similar to his scream at the beginning of Angel of Death, which I didn't mention is maybe one of the greatest screams ever in metal. And then the fast part, my sinful glare at it's hard for me. My sinful glare at nothing holds, thoughts of death behind it. Skeletons in my mind commence tearing at my sanity. Vessels in my brain carry death into my birth. Come and die with me forever, share insanity. Do you want to die? Oh no, I missed the part. Because there's a part there that it's much faster, but it's not quite thrashy. And then it gets thrashy with my sinful glare at nothing holds, the thoughts of death behind it. The waves of blood are rushing near, pounding at the walls of life, turning off my sanity, reaching back into my mind, on rising body from the grave, showing you reality, what I am, what I want, I'm only after death. And it just explodes again, then it stops, and there's the thunder and everything, which then bleeds into Raining Blood. Not Rain in Blood, the name of the album, but Raining Blood, the song. Maybe this is my favorite. I almost can't even separate those songs. When I hear, I almost can't listen to Postmortem without then listening to Rain in Blood. I can put on Rain in Blood without Postmortem, but I think if you listen to Postmortem, you gotta listen to Rain in Blood. Raining Blood, trapped in purgatory, a lifeless object alive, awaiting reprisal. Death will be their, was it acquisition? I thought he said death will be their acquiescence, which is another word, I guess, that I made up. Sky is turning red, return to power draws near. Fall unto me, the sky's crimson tears. Abolished to rules this stone. Abolish the rules made of stone. That's not what he says. Abolish rules made of stone. I don't know. Pierced from below, souls of my treacherous past, betrayed by many now ornaments dripping above, awaiting the hour of reprisal, your time slips away. Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. Oh my God. Raining blood from a lacerated sky, bleeding its horror, creating my structure. Now I shall rain in blood. Oh, this album, yeah, maybe this is the best, man. You know, I always, once I start talking about it, you kind of start to figure things out and things become clear. I'm sure I said that when I did Master of Puppets 2 and also Appetite for an Onion. But, you know, just going through this now, I'm feeling very, very excited and want to go listen to it again today for a third time. So there it is, and here I should credit them. Kerry King, lead guitars, Jeff Hanneman, lead guitars, Tom Araya, vocals, bass, Dave Lombardo, drums. And Slayer, of course, is playing a couple of shows this summer. I think one in August, maybe one in September, something like that. Although they said they would never, that they were, you know, finished, and some people are not very happy about them coming back. I would love to see Slayer again. But there it is. Let's say for today, definitely the greatest album ever. Yes! This is Slayer, or fucking Slayer, as some people say, and it shows it right there. This is Slayer, and oh my God, I can't get enough of Rain in Blood.